stands up for clarity.
A social recording was made possible by all musicians working together.
Jackson. I'm 23 years old. I'm a student from 5.
If you're wondering why we're doing this, it's because the UK government has just approved the Jackson gas field. The Jackson gas field cannot go ahead.
I'm taking action today. I'm going to throw paint at the Queen Elizabeth building in Edinburgh, because I'm sick and tired of the government lying about what they're going to do and how they're going to take climate action. I'm sick and tired of them feigning concern for my future. I am concerned about my future. I'm terrified for my future and the future for everybody else on this planet. I am taking action today because of that, because I want to secure a future where millions of people aren't going to starve to death.
My name's Louis McKechnie, I'm 21 years old and I'm a mechanical engineering student. I'm about to disrupt a football match and I'm terrified. But I believe as many people as possible need to know what a possible future holds. Millions of people not knowing if they should stay in their homes or if they leave where they can go as countries become too hot to live in. Mass starvation, crop failure, it's fighting for bread in the bakery aisle of Morrison's. Cost of living crisis, COVID and the war in Ukraine are showcasing this future. Your picture frame is crying. I did one more chance. I want my government to do all they can to stop this coming true, but they are expanding oil and gas, making things worse, increasing the risk. We know this because the International Energy Agency told us no new oil and gas from 2021. If governments are serious about this action on climate. We are killing ordinary people to join thousands in mass civil distancing.
Hi, I'm Louise, I'm 23 and I'm doing this because currently the government doesn't care about our lack of futures, that inaction on the emergency, which is the climate crisis, is literally going to destroy lives. In the next 10 to 20 years, it's going to be mass crop failure, mass drought, mass starvation, and because they're doing nothing, we are forced to cause disruption to make them listen.
That's not American. Now, if those good presidents were here right now and they could see what was going on, and the fact that I have no voice in this country and the rich have as big a voice as they can pay for, that they would not recognize this country. I'm not saying this country was ever perfect. I'm not saying we didn't build it on slavery and the extinction of Native Americans, but I am saying that
Please use your unique platform and level of influence to bring attention to the climate crisis and to join and support our campaign, Just Stop Oil. And we are also here to ask the general public to please join us in civil resistance. With the BAFTAs, a group of young people that are supporting the Just Stop Oil campaign, which demands the government to stop funding all new fossil fuels.
Yeah, something's burning.
We're going to be spraying 3 different universities, London Metropolitan University, Birkbeck University of London and Imperial College London, because these are universities that are complicit in the climate crisis. They're the universities that are giving money to fossil fuels, giving money to oil, that are destroying our future. The reason we're targeting universities as well, because these are supposed to be centres for learning and science, but obviously they don't know what that means because they're bringing fossil fuels into the day.
Rising in the streets, so what can I do? Yeah, who's gonna save us? Who's gonna save us? Send what we gonna do. Yeah, who's gonna save us? Who's gonna save us?
Sunday, 3 till 5 at the Quaker Music House. Please come and join us. Because it's happening in March. It's now or never, and it's up to us. Nobody is coming to save us. Nobody. And believe me, I'm shitting with handcream, but I don't want alcoholism. Nobody wants to listen to me. And I'm giving out leaflets on the street. I hope I will see you at the Green on Saturday. I'm going to go now, and I'm really sorry to disrupt your lunch. I hope you all have a lovely day. Thank you.
Know that if we carry on as we are risking everything. Burning oil and gas is something that the government's okay with, but I don't want to see fights break out in the supermarkets when food runs out. I don't want to see 3.5 billion people having to leave their homes because they're too hot to live in because of global warming. But these are real predictions for my generation's future, and I want to believe the government's doing what's best for us, but they're simply not acting like it. So I want the government to do all they can to guarantee that these predictions don't come true. But right now they're expanding oil and gas. They're actively making things worse and increasing the likelihood that these predictions come true for my generation. So we can't let them carry on like this. And I just want to get on with my life. But knowing this is what I'm going to face, I find myself unable to. I don't want oil and gas to be funding war around the world. I don't want the cost of living crisis to be plunging us into poverty. And it's so hard for us to get our heads around what's coming in the future. But the Just Stop Oil campaign is starting in April this year, and it actually genuinely gives us hope.
An invader has come onto the pitch here. Play is still underway, and I think he's handcuffed himself to the posts.
Yeah,
there has. There's a situation happening down on the pitch with the game at the moment continuing, but it will have to come to a halt. Somebody's come onto the pitch and seems to attach themselves to the goalpost. They've been very quickly removed. The stewards down there had the correct implement that they needed to do that, and most of the players were oblivious that even happened, but that person who came onto the pitch has now been removed.
They're calling up the cops cause it smell like ganja. Whoa, 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 whoa. They're calling up the cops cause it smell like ganja. Whoa. They're breaking up the party cause it smell like ganja. Whoa. They're breaking up the party cause it smell like ganja. Say, Mr. Cop, don't want you searching. We've been all day working. Ain't nobody that we hurting. Say, Mr. Cop, don't want you searching. We've been all day working. Ain't nobody that we hurting. So we've been all day working. Just a little herb that we know this reggae music we play? It comes from the island of Jamaica. It was the music of a people of thought, still today, called the Rastafari. Give it up for Rastafari. They used to get the shit kicked out of them on the streets back down in Jamaica by the government, and they said that it was because they were smoking weed, but it wasn't about what was going in their lungs, it was more about what was coming out of their mouths. Because Rastafari preaches something about love and positivity, but it also preaches about truth and justice, because truth and justice are part of love and positivity. So smoking weed, there's a lot that goes with it, right? In this country, we know it's on the books that the war against drugs and the war against marijuana was a racist intention. It was caused not out of fear for public safety, but out of racism, to keep people down and populate prisons with people of color. If you were born in the United States of America like we were, you are a recovering racist, and it's not your fault. It's part of institution. It's something Giant Panda preaches, that be honest and acceptance. Honesty and acceptance. Be honest with who you are. Accept where you come from and make it better. So when you hear about a gentleman getting beaten in a wheelchair, or somebody right over there just waiting for the bus, having a hard time, or even when you hear that a policeman was shot on the face in Goodman, on Goodman Street, you know that there's problems, and we need to bring truth to that, and we need honesty and acceptance for that. All is a city, all is a people. You do not have to be oppressed to fight against oppression. And all it means is showing up. That's the first step. There's nothing controversial about it. That is one love. That is what reggae music is about. So we're interested in furthering this dialogue here. You gotta reveal it to yourself, you know, so thank you for letting us say these words. Thank you for the city of Rochester for letting us be here. Thank you for everybody who puts this show on. There's some people out there with some flyers. Enough is enough. Protect each other. This is a local thing. This is a community. If you're 14 years old and white from the suburbs, this is part of your situation too. This is public safety. This isn't politics. This is love. And it's 2017. They still calling up the cops.
Sing this one. They're calling up the cops 'cause it smells like. Yeah. They're calling up the cops 'cause it smells like.
Currently, they're complicit in genocide. You know, you can't see it. I mean, you've sent me a report this morning. A really interesting report, absolutely on the money, about the $1 trillion that's going to be spent by the oil industry by 2030. It's just insane. It's going in completely the wrong direction.
Advice, I'd say be yourself. The music industry is saturated with fake people. As far as musicians go, if you're trying to start a band and you're trying to do something original, be yourself. Trust me, that's original. The goal in today's music is to be as fake as possible. And people always want what they can't have, so give them something they don't have, give them something real. For me, I'm not really going to change anything at this point. I'm connecting with the people who I like to connect with. I'm working with a bunch of musicians who I respect and love, and I get to spend all my time telling people how to change the world, or at least bringing up the subject. So I'm good. All this stuff's working. Stuff that hasn't worked, we don't have to even do that stuff. We got so many people that we trust behind us, helping us. But I do want to say, though, in case anybody's curious, bands evolve, bands change, and bands that stay the same are a very different kind of band. That's called a formula. So I guess another kind of piece of advice is don't be afraid to change if the change is organic and natural. And don't listen to people who criticize you for changing when you're actually making yourself closer to the true version of you. Because those people are far away from the true version of themselves.
This audio recording was made possible by organizations working together for people, not profit.
Our government is complicit. Oh, you're now talking about our government listeners. You're now talking about me. You're now talking about families and children. You're talking about millions of people who haven't got on board with either your aims or your actions, who are now apparently complicit in the greatest ever genocide. Do you think that's fair? Tom, do you care about telling the truth? Well, yes, obviously, it's a why are you not telling those millions of people what they need to know? What do you mean? Why are you not telling those millions? Why didn't you answer my question? That is a waiting your own. Do you think it's fair? It's a disgrace. Do you think it's fair to say that people who don't you join your organisation are complicit in the greatest ever genocide? About the climate crisis, about the situation we're in, report, and you are happy to watch them sit in misinformation. You are happy. What's the misinformation that's been given that you've given out this morning? You have a massive platform. You have a massive platform, right? Oh, here we go. You have a massive platform, a microphone that you can use to tell people about the situation we're in, and you are not using it, right? So for those of you listening, using it, for those that are listening on the radio, someone like me, an ordinary person who is fighting for their future, is having to take the microphone in a situation like this and having to tell your viewers the situation we are in, because people like you do not. So for those people like you are giving as much as a death sentence to your viewers as our government is, as the fossil fuel companies are. So, and that goes for all those people. By the way, for those of you listening, wondering what the banging on the microphone was, Mr. McGovern has apparently, I think is it glue? You seem to have glued yourself to the microphone, so that's fantastic.
And so I've been supporting Just Stop Oil for a few months. I went out on the road a few days ago. I was on top of the tanker for 18 hours. It was snowing, it was raining. I got frostbite up there. I was in a police cell for 22 hours after. Some of my friends were up there for 34 hours. Other of my friends have been on site for 60 hours plus. And I'll go back, because I have to, because if we don't, then the government's going to send us to our deaths.
Hi, I'm Miranda Wheelahan. I'm also a student living in Brighton. I'm here because I feel like I lived a long part of my life unaware of what is going on. I believe that the government was, had our best interests and wouldn't be sending millions and millions every single day into an industry that is causing not just destruction here, but destruction to people around the world, people who are living on the front line and who are having to bear the brunt of the way that we live. And when I began to read science and began to see what was happening, I don't think any of us can now not act. I just think we live under an illusion that our government have got this in their hands, and the IPCC, the fourth part of the sixth assessment came out yesterday, and they said quite frankly that these governments, our government is lying. They are lying about how extreme this is, and I'm actually here today to ask all of you, the media, to take this as seriously as it is. There are people suffering around the world because of the consequences of oil, and there are people suffering in this country, both from physical reactions like flooding and heat waves, but also from fuel poverty. They've been suffering for years and years under austerity, and they're going to suffer unfortunately more as oil companies hike up their prices. Just the cost, people at food banks can't even buy potatoes. I'll get potatoes to boil them because they can't afford to boil that water. That is the situation we're in, and I'm asking you to take this seriously. If we don't just stop oil, if we don't stop new oil licensing, our future is absolutely eternal, and these people, the most vulnerable people, the ordinary people of this country, will continue to suffer. And this is serious, and it's not about opinion or politics, it's about science and it's about reality. And I just ask that you please listen and listen to the science and do what you know in your heart as a human being is the right thing to do, and that is to stop oil and to move to renewables, and we need to do that now.
Walls every region, let me avoid this request. One social remix, he could and keep it on delicate diseases. Really the music.
Supports bill has just been passed into law. Supporters say it's needed to deal with demonstrations like these, where activists glued themselves to roads, causing traffic gridlock.
Civil resistance is the only thing left. Nothing else has worked. Writing to your MP, waste of time. Signing petitions, going on a march, millions of people are going to die. We either wake up and do something about it, or we sit back, allow it to happen, and then it's our fault.
Pushing you up, down, maybe I'm down bound. Drinking a lot, sometimes it's all I got. When I think too much, you always pop the clutch. Stop speeding away, maybe today you're out. It's time for me to fall away from this.
This audio recording was made possible by organizations working together for people, not profit.
Hi, my name's Louis. I'm 21 years old and I'm supporting Just Stop Oil. Thank you for being here today. We've come today to ask our government to meet its legal and moral obligations. Our government is compelled by law to act to avoid what it has recognised will be a catastrophic rise in global temperature. We know what needs to be done. It's simple. Just stop oil. Right now they're doing the opposite. Last year the Prime Minister told young people that our future is being stolen before our very eyes, and that we have every right to be angry with those who aren't doing enough to stop it. He also said that his government wants to move beyond hydrocarbons completely and to do so as fast as possible. Maybe some of us believed him because we wanted it to be true. But right now, he and his government are licensing new fossil fuel projects and failing to implement policies to cut carbon emissions. They are torching the Paris Agreement, and with it our future. It's a terrible betrayal. We do not trust our lives to this broken government. They are failing us. We have not come to beg or plead. We have come to make it known that we are not ready to give up on ourselves or those we love. Thank you.